We're here at the home of British Olympic Association. We're putting together some of our clients, both in sport and in business. In terms of business, learning from high performance sport, I would say there's some real stuff around culture. So we have some super cultural stories from sport. Certainly teams, how to be an effective team under pressure is a great sports piece. And there's a type of leadership I think that sports people are great at. We're lucky enough to have Bill Sweeney speaking today, who's the CEO of the BOA. We've also got Arthur from Mars, a fantastic client of ours, who are one of the biggest family-owned businesses in the world, and a super headmaster, Kieran, who we're lucky enough to work with in a disadvantaged school in Northampton. The thing that unites the three speakers we've got today is that they have absolutely decided the type of culture they want to have in their organisations.
From the world of high performance sport, we have in the room 2 MBEs, 4 individuals who've played for their country, and representatives from football, rugby, British bobsleigh and skeleton, British shooting and cricket, I believe. From a corporate perspective, we've got representatives here, and I'm sure you'll all make connections as the afternoon goes on. From technology businesses, from estate agents businesses, pharmaceutical, retail, hospitality. So a real breadth of industry and sport here with us this afternoon.
I've been asked to tell you a little bit my own personal journey getting here, and also to talk a bit about the BOA, but really talk about the impact of culture and how culture can create and help sustain and build successful brands and businesses. Some of the things that we've learned here, I think that apply in the sports world, and we certainly had it in Rio. We bring together multiple cultures for a games time period. So in Rio there were 28 sports competing, and we actually competed in 23 of the 28. So you're bringing together athletes from 23 different backgrounds and cultures. How do you integrate them all under a one Team GB environment? And we spend a lot of time, and we'll kick it off for Tokyo probably next month, in terms of talking to the likely athletes going there, what it means to be part of Team GB, what are the expectations, what can you expect to get out of it, how do you want to be remembered? Previous Olympians for us are incredibly good at delivering that message. The Steve Redgraves of this world, Chris Hoys of this world are superb in terms of helping to develop that one Team GB culture and one Team GB approach to things. And for us, we think that makes a very significant difference in terms of the overall outcome. The team spirit that engendered, the athletes would go and support each other in medal potential events. You'd see the rowers out of competition they all turned up for the women's hockey final, and you got this tremendous sense of we're actually part of something which is bigger than just the sum. And we think that lifted us and gave us that extra advantage and edge that took us over the 65 medals and onto 67. And we believe a lot of these lessons are actually transferable across into the corporate sector as well.
When your school is publicly humiliated on Panorama, Ofsted puts you into special measures, you're £1 million in debt, and on your first day at the school a rat runs over your foot. Well, how on earth do you start in that situation?
When you go to institutions like schools that are failing really badly, they're really characterised by a lack of accountability and a lack of ownership right the way through. And the only way to do that is to change the culture straight away. Schools like that will be characterised by staff who see schools serving their needs rather than the needs of the children. And I'm sure there's parallels here between businesses going on to try and pull that in. We just said, right, if you want to stay in this school, if you want to teach here, you've got to love the children, but more importantly, the children have to know that you love them. And then we simply said, right, that's got to be the basis of every decision-making process which goes on from here. So whether you're looking at procuring goods, or whether you're looking at marking books, or planning a lesson, or looking at getting a new member of staff in, or if you're looking at using disciplinary situations, you've got to be thinking, you know, will this make this school a place where people are more likely to love the children?
What's distinctive about the culture of Mars, and what's the main benefit of that, Arthur?
Well, I think to start off with the main benefits, actually, I think the two of the main benefits I see, so I work on a big cultural change programme at Mars. The biggest one is performance. So actually, if you have a good culture, as we heard from Bill earlier, you do well. You have better ways of working. You can have you have trust with the people you're working with. You can use some of the same language, and it just speeds things up and facilitates things in a way that means you perform better. And the other big benefit is talent. So you want to work there. People want to go in. It's not just a job. You actually love it. It's more than a job. It's a big part of who you are and your identity, and you can bring yourself to work. But at Mars, it really is a thing. It really is distinctive. When you go in there and you work with people, it really feels different. So in terms of how they do it, there's sort of three things that really stand out. One is their core values, which are the most important thing. The second thing is what they think of as their employees. They call them associates, which is different from being an employee. And the third one is the role of leadership, and that they really put a lot of emphasis on that.
Bill, can I just come back to you as well? You talked about the one team GB culture and values. How do you think that can sort of translate into business?
When you work in Adidas, when you're there, you just feel you're in the midst of a really strong culture that's got shared beliefs, and they've got a very common goal and a very clear vision in terms of where they're going to get to. I think if you work in an environment where that doesn't exist, things get out of control very quickly and very easily. People will have their own interpretation. They might be passionate about the company, but their passion or their definition of the company might be going in that direction. And you'll have another group of people whose passion is, well, we think the company should be going in this direction, and you end up with just general chaos. But I think it's getting the balance right between having that framework and having those really strong values and how you communicate those values, but not to the point where they become stilted.